Dear friends, I would like to show you today the promotion of Ted Wilson, the president of the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Corporate Church. And he is promoting the Great Controversy 1911. And before I will share with you the study about the comparison of 1884 and 1911 Great Controversy books, I would like to show to you this clip that I found in the Seventh-day Adventist Church YouTube channel. Let's listen to his presentation of the Great Controversy 1911.
The missionary book of the year for the years 2023 and 2024, with the intention of placing it into the hands of millions of people through the Great Controversy Project 2.0. You can learn more about this project and download a free copy of the book in multiple languages at greatcontroversyproject.org. In the very important introduction of this book, the author explains the nature of inspiration and unfolds how the Bible was written. She writes, "The Bible points to God as its author, yet it was written by human hands. The truths revealed are all given by inspiration of God."
That quotation is not from the original 1884 Great Controversy, aka Spirit of Prophecy. And the number Roman numeral 10 is not also found with this quote in the 1911 Great Controversy edition. So where is this quote found? It's in page 5, Roman numeral 5. So there is a typical error. So my question is this error because of negligent, or they have a different edition online PDF file, or they have a different edition by book in their hand? So this is a typo error. And also this quotation, I was looking for it from the original 1884 Great Controversy. I could not find this quote, which was purportedly written by Ellen G. White. I have a book here that was handed to me or delivered to my door, the 1884 Great Controversy compared with the 1911 Great Controversy. The Great Controversy that Ted Wilson is promoting is 1911. So the question is this: did Ellen G. White approve that her 1884 Great Controversy be revised, or did she allow her writing to be edited, meaning added and subtracted some words? So let us see this document. The introduction says, by the use of WordPerfect computer software, it is appropriate to give some information about this publication. This is a very detailed and accurate, albeit not perfect, comparison between the 1884 Great Controversy, aka the Spirit of Prophecy Volume 4, and the 1911 edition of the Great Controversy, authored, produced, and published by the General Conference Seventh-day Adventist Corporation Church, hereinafter GCSDA Church, which is why they have the copyright. This GCSDA Church purports to its membership in the world that Ellen G. White approved of the changes made to the 1884 GC to create the 1911 edition. She did not. This GCSDA Church further purports to its membership and the world that Ellen G. White wrote a letter endorsing and approving the 1911 edition. She did not write that letter. Not in their wildest dreams did the followers of Satan ever think that their scheme could be so effortlessly unraveled by a carpenter. The story is someone typed up the book into a computer. Both books, actually. The carpenter learned word perfect for his business. Then one day, he learned that the spirit of prophecy materials available from the GCSDA church largely were interpolated. The original writings do not agree with the GCSDA church current materials or doctrines. This document is a partial result. Ellen G. White was a human being who obeyed God. Her words were testified to by the miracles of the Holy Spirit, such as, but not limited to, she did not breathe during one vision in public. Testified to by examination from a medical doctor for 6 hours. Although small, sickly, and frail, strong man could not move her arms or inhibit the free movement thereof by herself. God is without a change, no shadow of turning. The testimonies of his spirit all agree in perfect harmony. The testimonies published by the GCSDA church are not in harmony with themselves. To think to change the testimonies is rebellion. One day, the guilty will pay. Copyright February 10, 2007 by Arthur C. Abbott. This material is hereby placed in the public domain and is freely available to everyone, and no natural person or entity of any form whatsoever may copyright it or any part thereof. So in this document, the blue print deleted, comparing. The black, meaning it remains the same. The red were added. So if you compare, just a glimpse, dear friends, 1911 with the 1884, this is how it will look like. And it has some more colors as you turn the page of the writings of Ellen G. White. So there are obviously a lot of addition and subtraction going on. Deletion, I mean. So I will transition now to the online edition that I have found. Let me share it with you, my screen. So as Ted Wilson promotes, as I have mentioned, there are typo errors, but this is minor. Yet it shows to you that the corporate Seventh-day Adventist Church are careless a little bit in their presentation, especially for mass media. So I would just like to call that out. My purpose is to compare the Great Controversy 1911 and Great Controversy Original 1884. So what you're seeing right now on my screen is the PDF file published by the Ellen G. White Estate of the General GCSDA Corporation Church, the Great Controversy 1911. This is what Ted Wilson was holding, but this is on a PDF file. So this is what the book looked like if you go 1911. And as I have read earlier, this book is purported to be endorsed by Ellen G. White. That is what millions of SDA members believe. But according to my reading, she did not. So this is where it is your choice to investigate if these matters are true. I am just presenting to you and comparing it. Not the whole thing today, but slowly. So about the author, and they have put their end user, they have the license, the copyright, and also the numbering, if you notice. And this is what I'm trying to say. This is the reading of Ted Wilson in the video. This is part. This is in, if you will see, it is Roman numeral 5, but in their presentation, it's Roman numeral 10. So that was a typo. But still, I like to bring that out as a carelessness. So this, the Bible points to God as the author, as its author. They would purport that this is the language of Ellen G. White. But I would like to compare that to the original. And if it is true that this was not included in the original, did Ellen G. White add it to her original writing? Did she inserted this? And if it's not Ellen G. White, who inserted this? So that is the question. So this is what Ted Wilson quoted on the PowerPoint presentation there on the video, and they made that story. So let us go to the first chapter. So that was my first question. If I could not find it in the original, did Ellen G. White inserted this introduction to her new book, or which they printed the initial E.G. White, Ellen Gold White. Okay, so these are the contents. We understand that. Now let's go to chapter 1. So this is just to give you a perspective. Let's go to the original. This is the original Great Controversy book as photographed original, the Great Controversy between Christ and Satan, 1884. As you could see, it is stamped and marked by James White Library, Andrews University. So this is how it looks like, volume 4, and it was dated 1884. If you can see it there. I already read this on my videos. You can see it. You can see on my playlist, and the title is SOPGC. So I have already read this on public. That's why I'm comparing it with 1911, which I also read when I was in high school. So just to rephrase, this is the original 1884 book compared to just a little glimpse of what is happening in the Seventh-day Adventist Church promotion of the Great Controversy. So this is chapter 1, Destruction of Jerusalem. Sister White said, "The days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee around, and keep thee on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knowest not the time of thy visitation." Just a glimpse of what is happening, and compare that to the 1911 edition. This is chapter 1, the same thing. "If thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this day, that thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes. For the day shall come upon thee, and thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee around, and keep thee on every side, and shall lay thee in the ground, and thy children with thee, and they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation." Then they put Luke 19:42. From the crest of Olivet. Did you see the some additions there initially? If you go further, there are so many things to watch out for. There are so many additions, and as I've said, deletion. I cannot analyze and discuss with you everything, but I would like you to access this online. Ted Wilson already mentioned that on his video, the Great Controversy publication, or greatcontroversy.org. This you can access endtimes-prophecy.org, Great Controversy Volume 4 PDF, both PDF. Now, what is my point in showing this initial comparison? There are so many additions and so many deletions, friends. So the question was, did Ellen G. White authorize this version? There are people who say yes, there are people who say no. I believe the content will speak for itself in the evidence. And in my study, the this is just initial, but my study, as I have read both books, the doctrine and the content has been altered quite significant in the understanding of man. If a man and woman who would search diligently the doctrine of the early Seventh-day Adventists compared to the General Conference Seventh-day Adventist Corporation Church. So this is just the initial, but I want you to think for yourselves. The reason for my broadcast is for you and I to be educated on these matters. Is it good that her writings were revised? Were her thoughts altered, or the trajectory of the message changed, or the doctrines, especially about who God is, compromised? It is up to you now to search this. Some of you might think it doesn't matter. It's not affecting me, my faith in God. Sure, it will, because the Seventh-day Adventist Church corporate the General Conference of the General Conference since 1980 had changed their view or their understanding of God. Instead of the one true God and the only begotten Son of God, Jesus Christ, they put the Trinity. This is an eye-opener, and this is an issue about life eternal. Because if you change God, essentially change your religion. And Sister White prophesied that books of the New Order will be published, and the church will be reorganized. So friends, there's still some more truths that will come out of this comparison, but I'd like to tell you right now, initially, that there is a big difference in the understanding of the doctrine of the original faith of the Seventh-day Adventist compared to the present Seventh-day Adventist General Conference Corporate Church. So that is just the foretaste of what is to come. A lot of changes, a lot of additions and deletions. But is it good for us to study this? Yes, I believe so. As the original faith had already been negated by professors of the church, Seventh-day Adventist Corporation, General Conference Church, you can actually feel and see why the church is in the Laodicean state. So please make your own do your own due diligence, investigate and search. Again, this is about who God is and his Son and life eternal. May God, the Father, and his Son continue to guide you and prosper you as you investigate. Thank you for joining me.